What do you do, my gente? Your boys coming through once again with the new video. And on today's video, we're going to talk about the aftermath of the hunger strikes in California, right? And the reason I want to bring this up because I want to give you an insight of why it took place, when it took place, and when it ended, and what was the changes, right? I went to the shoe right after it ended, and I got to experience the new shoe, right? The new shoe program, and for what I heard, it was way better. But also, I want to talk about the individual that sadly became unalive because of this, man, and actually show support to those guys who went through it to make a change, right? Make a change in the system because it was inhumane. It was all bad. But before we continue with this, don't forget to hit the like, a comment. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, man, go ahead and hit the subscribe. I will highly appreciate it. So before we continue, also with the video, man, who you got for the Super Bowl? KC or Philly? Oh man, let let the best team win. Honestly, I want KC to win. Why? Because the guy's gonna get three in a row, and I want people to win in a sense that he's gonna make history, right? I know that a lot of people are gonna go with Philly, and I understand that as well. So let the best win. So in 2012, I believe that's when the first hunger strike took place, and it was in high desert. I was right there as well, and I remember hearing. I was in on the back, but I remember hearing that the guys on the back were striking because of the living conditions right there, right? And I was like, damn, they're doing a hunger strike, man. And for those who know high desert, man, I mean, they're doing some other shit, right? But the guys did it, and eventually when out there for this for the different shoes, right? Pelican Bay, the Corcoran, Tehachapi, and everybody was doing these hunger strikes, right? It was something that thousands of inmates participated on, and I'm glad they did because they were fighting or they were protesting about the conditions. For those who don't know, man, California was keeping individuals in segregation unit for many years because they were just validated gang members. Like keeping them in the box was gonna stop something, right? Which didn't make sense, right? But that's what they were doing, and it was inhumane. It was basically they're pushing them to go against their beliefs. Go through this process that basically they had to debrief. They had to become an informant, basically, right? Give legit information because there's going to be people checking those facts to make sure that the information given to them is legit. And sometimes when they not enough information gets put out there, they'll send your shit back. They send your packet back and say, "Nah, man, you need to actually let us know what's up with this, man." And that's messed up because a lot of people they were basically, if you want to get out and actually interact in a regular yarda, man, that's what you have to do. And it's messed up, man. And a lot of people were staying on the back, man, for many years on the back. Pero that's why a lot of people were protesting or doing this hunger strike, right? Eventually, I believe I think they did three. Eventually, the last one, which ended on June or July of 2013, one of those months, finally got them what they wanted, right? And that meant that people were gonna get kicked out, that the living conditions of the shoe was gonna change and stuff like that. But the change didn't happen right there and then. Eventually, it took like a year. It took like a year in 2014 for the changes to start. So actually, I went in 2014. I went to the shoe, and when I got there in Tehachapi, I believe Tehachapi was barely changing. It had months changing. Corcoran was still with the old program, and where if you have anything on containers, man, they'll put them on the back. That thing sucks. So if you have shampoo, baby powder, lotion, hot sauce, toothpaste, coffee, everything will be on the back, and that's how bad is inconvenient, right? Also, they were pushing for the yarda because now they're supposed to give you the I think I don't know how many hours. It was six hours per week, I believe. Uh, and they were pushing for that. So all that was happening in Tehachapi already. I mean, where I was at, we still were, it's supposed to be what 23 hours down, 1 hour of yarda. Well, where I was at, it wasn't even like that. It was basically, I think, 10 days down, and one day we'll get to go out there, but all day. So that's how they keep up with the hours. Even though that's not how they're supposed to do it, that's how they did it, and we just went with it. But and when I got there, man, they let me keep everything on containers. They let me keep more electronics than what they used to. They changed that for sure. And it was basically the one thing that I noticed, man, is that those newspapers from San Quentin were going around. And this is when it comes with the story of Güero, right? The individual or the inmate who sadly became unalive because of the hunger strikes. Not to mention that these guys went on these hunger strikes back to back to back to back. And they were, they're weak already, right? So this guy, it is said that he was, look, what I seen on the newspaper, what's the newspaper from prison? San Quentin, the San Quentin newspaper. That's the newspaper that when you go to the law library or whatever, they're gonna give you that. Something you can request it. So we used to request it, man, and you'll be seeing how people used to communicate. That's how they used to use the communication, right, through that letter. And they'll throw, if somebody was known, they'll throw their name, their CDC number, and they'll say like a message for the people to see it, right? So they were talking about old boy Güero from Corcoran, and they're saying that old boy se colgó, right? He hung himself. That was the cause of his death, right? But everybody who was on Corcoran was saying, nah, homie. Actually, the cops went into his cell y lo colgaron, güey. That's what people were saying. That's what people were saying behind the walls. And that was the story that was going to this newspaper, right? And where individuals were writing to this to San Quentin so they can throw their opinion in the newspaper. And I'm reading all these little comments, right? And that's what everybody in Corcoran was saying. It said, look, homie, the vato, the Judas got in here and they did that shit to the homie because the homie was good, and all of a sudden he was amaneció colgado. And I mean, first of all, we don't know what happened actually. I'm just saying what I read on the newspaper. What was going? I mean, hopefully one of you guys who was in the shoe can remember this and verify that that's what the newspaper was saying. Pero you have to understand one thing, man. Going without eating, it's all bad. Even though, if we keep it G, man, a lot of people, they said they were gonna go on a hunger strike. Escondieron, they were hiding food and stuff like that. And some cops were like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna go on a hunger strike." So they went in the cell and took all their canteens on me. So they can actually go on a hunger strike, man. It actually reminded me of how Cesar Chavez used to do the hunger strikes, man. That's what reminded me of, man, when he was fighting for our people and not eating, right? He used to get hella weak because he didn't used to eat, and how these individuals behind the walls, right, actually protested and stayed together for the betterness of the shoe, right? So again, like I said, Tehachapi changed, even though Corcoran didn't change. I don't know how long it took for Corcoran to actually change, but eventually, when people start getting kicked out that were validated, it didn't happen till 2016 or the end of 2016. If I'm not mistaken, man, that's when the GBF got off and some skins got off. They thought that something was gonna happen because of this, right? But nothing happened. But actually, it was a big event. People thought throughout the system that it was gonna crack because that was the agreement. They were not gonna do nothing, and sure enough, they let this individual out, and they got him, right? I don't want to say that he was the first one, but he was one of the first ones, guaranteed. But a lot of people sacrificed, man. A lot of people went through it, and thanks to them, man, the conditions of the shoe had changed somewhat and a little bit better than what it used to be, and a lot of people are out now. So with this being said, we are out to next video. Muchas gracias.